And we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries. 100 science still can't explain mysteries, looping softly, endlessly through the night. Tonight we'll drift through the eerie, constant hum haunting the skies over Taos, New Mexico. The baffling odd radio circles, 1,000,000 light years wide, breaking all known cosmic rules, and the unpredictable, intelligent dance of ball lightning, so strange we still can't recreate it in a lab. There's nothing you need to do now. Just let your body sink, heavier, heavier. Feel the mattress holding you, every muscle softening, your heartbeat slowing, thump, thump, matching the rhythm of space itself, shoulders melting down, jaw releasing, each breath pulling you deeper, deeper into the calm, the quiet, the dark. If this helps you rest, tap subscribe, comment, and hit like, so others can find this calm too, but only if your eyes are still open. Otherwise, just drift. Now, let's drift into science still can't explain. We start close, with the soft mystery inside you, consciousness itself. It is the ultimate puzzle, the one doing the observing. It asks, why do we feel like we are here, inside this body? Why do thoughts have that inner felt quality, that qualia, the redness of red, the sound of the ocean? Science can track every neuron firing, but cannot yet explain the leap from electrical signal to feeling. It's the hard problem of consciousness, the unbridgeable gap. We simply do not know how the physical brain creates the subjective mind. It may be a property of matter we haven't discovered yet, or a reflection of something deeper in the fabric of the universe. And then the mysteries drift outward to the edge of the known cosmos. A gentle, invisible weight is pulling on everything. It's called dark matter. We know it's there because we can see its gravity bending the light of distant galaxies. But we can't see it. It doesn't absorb, reflect, or emit light. It's utterly silent, utterly dark. Yet it makes up about 85% of all matter in the universe. Think of it as the invisible scaffolding holding the cosmic structure together, without which the galaxies would simply spin apart. We only know its shadow, its gravitational touch. We don't know what it is yet. Perhaps a new exotic particle slipping through our standard models. Even more baffling is the silent accelerating push we call dark energy. This force is the engine of cosmic expansion, not just pulling on galaxies, but pushing the very fabric of space apart at an ever-increasing speed. It accounts for nearly 70% of the entire mass energy content of the universe, a cosmic anti-gravity that seems to reside in the emptiness of space itself. Why is it so weak, yet so dominant? This is the mystery of dark energy. We can measure its effect, but its nature is still a deep, dark silence. It's almost as if the universe is made of questions, more than answers. Back here, on Earth, a low, persistent sound drifts across the horizon. It's the Taos hum, a small fraction of the population in and around Taos, New Mexico, hears a pervasive low-frequency hum or drone. It's not audible to everyone, and it can't be traced to any specific source. People describe it as the sound of a distant diesel engine or a soft vibration. It's been reported globally too, the Bristol hum and others, but the cause remains elusive. Is it geological, electromagnetic, or some combination of factors our instruments can't yet pinpoint? It's a sound that only some can hear, a secret frequency that lulls and lingers. Imagine floating far out, beyond our galaxy, and you encounter something utterly impossible. Odd radio circles, or ORCs. They are vast circular structures emitting radio waves, millions of light years across. They don't match any known astronomical object, not a supernova remnant, not a planet-forming disk, nothing we have ever seen. It's a new class of cosmic object, obeying no rules we've written down. They seem to surround distant galaxies, glowing faintly in the radio spectrum. Are they the shock waves from colossal events, or something else entirely? The circles are perfectly round, yet utterly baffling. Now, let's sink deeper into the quiet mystery of sleep itself. Why do we sleep? Science still can't fully explain its essential purpose. We know it's vital, that lack of it breaks the mind and the body. But why must we spend a third of our lives in this state of deep vulnerability? One theory suggests it's a kind of metabolic cleanup, the brain washing away toxins built up during the day, the glymphatic system opening up, the fluid gently flowing, removing the debris. Another theory suggests memory consolidation, a silent rehearsal of the day's events. But the necessity, the irresistible pull, remains a beautiful, soft mystery, pulling you under. Now, the mind is so powerful, so strange, that it can heal the body with no medicine at all. It's the placebo effect. A sugar pill, a saline injection, is given with the suggestion of healing, and the brain responds, releasing its own potent chemistry, endorphins, cannabinoids. The pain genuinely vanishes, the symptoms genuinely recede. It proves that belief has a physical, measurable power, a deep connection between the mind and the body that science has only begun to map. It is the power of expectation, sinking into the cells themselves. The mystery is not that it works, but how the mind generates that healing response from nothing more than a gentle suggestion. Sometimes the mind's power is evident in spontaneous, unbidden ways. The spontaneous remission of disease. A cancer simply vanishes. A severe illness suddenly disappears. Without conventional treatment, it is exceedingly rare, but it happens. The body's immune system, for reasons unknown, suddenly finds a way to overcome the insurmountable. It's a flicker of a deep, untapped biological potential, a healing mystery, suggesting hidden pathways and triggers within our own systems that we don't know how to consciously access. It's a sudden, soft silence. Where the disease used to be, the strange mysteries are everywhere, even in the silent flow of time. Think about the paradox of time's arrow, physical laws, the deep equations of motion work perfectly forwards and backwards. Nothing in the math says time must flow in one direction. Yet, here we are, always moving forward, never back. We remember the past, but not the future. This is generally linked to the concept of entropy, the universal tendency toward disorder. As entropy increases, the universe moves forward. Time's arrow is perhaps the sound of the universe slowly, softly, becoming less orderly, a gentle, irreversible slide into the next moment. Deep in the sea, in 1997, a hydrophone picked up a sound so loud, so strange, it was named the bloop, an ultra-low frequency sound, far too powerful to have been made by any known animal. It lasted over a minute, a massive rumbling cry from the deep abyss. While later research suggested it was likely a massive ice quake, the sound still holds the mystery of the true immense sounds the deep ocean can create, a soft, enormous sigh of the restless, unknown depths. We keep drifting out to the edge of the solar system toward the silent, empty spaces, the Pioneer anomaly. For decades, the Pioneer 10 and 11 probes seem to be slowing down, very slightly, an unexplained tiny acceleration pulling them toward the sun. It wasn't solar wind or fuel leaks. It was as if some subtle, unknown force was gently braking them. The mystery was later mostly attributed to subtle, uneven thermal radiation, heat radiating off the spacecraft itself, creating the tiny push. But for years, it was a whisper of physics we didn't yet understand, a ghost in the machine, and the universe itself holds an even greater imbalance, the matter-antimatter asymmetry. In the Big Bang, matter and antimatter should have been created in perfectly equal amounts. They annihilate each other on contact, creating pure energy. If this were the case, the universe would be filled with only light, a blinding flash, and no stars, no planets, no you. Yet, there is a tiny, tiny imbalance, about one extra particle of matter for every billion pairs of matter and antimatter. That tiny fraction, that tiny cosmic preference for matter, is what allowed everything to exist. We don't know why. The universe chose matter over antimatter. The reason for our very existence is a fundamental physics mystery. Let's sink into the quiet, dark heart of a collapsing star, the black hole information paradox. When matter falls into a black hole, it seems to vanish forever. If the matter is carrying information, like the spin of its particles or its chemical composition, where does that information go? Quantum physics says information can never be truly destroyed, but black holes seem to break this rule. Hawking radiation suggests black holes slowly evaporate, but the escaping radiation seems random, carrying no memory of the original information. It's a deep conflict between quantum mechanics and general relativity, a silent, swirling paradox that keeps physicists up at night, but lulls you deeper into rest. The quiet mysteries extend to the tiny, the quantum realm, quantum entanglement. Two particles are linked, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure the property of one particle, the other particle instantly assumes the corresponding opposite property. Faster than the speed of light. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance. We can observe it, we can use it, but we don't fully understand how the connection is maintained. It's as if the particles are whispering to each other across the vast gulf of space, a silent, unbreakable bond that defies our intuition about distance, and the search for extraterrestrial life remains a quiet vigil. The wow signal. In 1977, the Big Ear radio telescope detected a powerful narrow-band radio signal. It was 30 times stronger than the background noise, lasting 72 seconds, and appeared to come from the constellation Sagittarius. It was exactly the kind of signal we'd expect from an intentional extraterrestrial broadcast. It was so striking. An astronomer wrote "wow" on the printout, but it never repeated. It remains the single most compelling yet unconfirmed whisper from the deep. The silent since is part of the mystery. The cosmos is full of noise we don't expect, like the fast radio bursts or far bees. These are intense, millisecond-long bursts of radio waves coming from distant galaxies. They release more energy in that tiny moment than the sun does in a year. Most flash once, but a few repeat, firing off bursts on a regular cycle, sometimes every 16 days, sometimes every hour. Their origin is completely unknown. They are the quick, sudden, cosmic coughs, the universe making a sound that we can't identify. Let's sink back down to Earth's strange, silent lights. The Hessdalen lights in Norway. These are unexplained, brightly glowing balls of light that appear day and night over the Hessdalen Valley. They can be yellow or red, they can flash, or simply drift slowly. Scientists have studied them for decades. They are likely some combination of atmospheric plasma or perhaps even unknown chemical reactions, but they remain officially unexplained. Silent, glowing orbs dancing in the dark, or the legendary Marfa lights in Texas. Strange, unexplained lights seen near the horizon, close to Marfa. They appear to move erratically, sometimes flashing, sometimes changing colour. They have been documented for over a century. While some lights can be explained by atmospheric refraction or distant car headlights, there are still sightings that defy simple explanation. A soft, silent spectacle witnessed by those who linger in the quiet desert. The earth breathes, and sometimes it glows. Earthquake lights or triboluminescence just before or during intense seismic activity. People report seeing strange flashes of light coming from the ground or the sky. Theories suggest the stress on the rock releases electrical charges, creating a plasma, but the phenomenon is unpredictable and still not fully understood. The very stones, gently, softly, whispering a warning in a silent flash of light, drifting now to the quiet dance of the animal kingdom the mystery of animal migration. How do tiny, fragile creatures, like the monarch butterfly, travel thousands of miles across continents generations later, finding the exact same grove of trees they have never seen before? It involves magnetic fields, the position of the sun, and perhaps an innate deep map encoded in their DNA, a compass and a destination that we don't understand how they read. They simply trust the gentle pull, the quiet knowing to guide their wings, and the intelligence of slime molds, a single-celled organism with no brain, no nervous system, yet it can solve mazes. It can build efficient transportation networks that mimic the rail systems of Tokyo. It learns, it adapts, it remembers, all without a centralized control system. It's an example of distributed emergent intelligence, a silent, soft knowing spread across its entire body, defying our basic definition of what it means to be smart. We consider the silent question of the Muon G2 anomaly again. That tiny persistent wobble in the Muon's magnetic moment. It's like a soft quantum gyroscope spinning in a void. The standard model of particle physics predicts its precise spin, but experiments keep showing it's just a little bit off. A deviation so small, yet so consistent, suggesting the Muon is briefly interacting with something, a subtle, soft particle, or a gentle force that we haven't yet factored into our current understanding of reality. This is the quietest hope for finding physics beyond our known list, a soft hint of a new layer of the universe. And the search for quantum gravity, the theory that seeks to unite the massive elegance of general relativity with the tiny randomness of quantum mechanics. How does the curving of space-time, described by gravity, interact with the discrete, jerky units of energy and matter? Our equations break down at the very edges of black holes and at the beginning of the Big Bang. It is the ultimate puzzle of unification, finding a soft, continuous bridge between the very large and the very small. Think about the sheer, constant energy of the Catatumbo lightning, the perpetual storm over the river and the marshlands. It's more than just a beautiful display. It's a massive natural ozone generator, silently protecting the upper atmosphere. The specific blend of methane gas from the swamps meeting the cool mountain air creates the perfect constant electrical generator, but the precise mechanism that sustains its intensity, sometimes flashing over 28,000 times an hour, remains a regional, geological secret, a quiet electrical furnace burning in the night. Let's sink into the soft, complex architecture of the past, the Voynich manuscript, the beautiful, baffling book filled with drawings of unknown plants, constellations, and tiny, mysterious people. Its text is written in an elaborate script, an unknown language, or a cipher so complex that it has resisted every attempt at decryption for centuries. Is it a lost language of a medieval culture, a coded work of early science, or perhaps a quiet, elaborate hoax designed to fool collectors, it remains a silent, soft document, whispering secrets we cannot hear, and the enduring geometric perfection of the Costa Rican stone spheres. Hundreds of perfectly carved orbs made by the extinct Dikis culture, ranging from a few centimeters to over 2 meters in diameter. They were carved with astonishing precision, smooth and round, but their purpose is entirely unknown. Were they astronomical markers placed along ley lines, territorial markers, or simply objects created for the sheer, soft beauty of perfection? They sit silently, smooth and cold, holding the unknown intentions of their vanished creators. We turn to the highest energy whispers of the cosmos, the Amaterasu particle. Detected in 2023, this cosmic ray traveled with an energy level rivaling the legendary Oh My God particle. But when scientists traced its trajectory back into space, there was no obvious source, no powerful galaxy, no active black hole in that direction. A ghost particle, a flash of immense energy, originating from a dark, silent patch of the sky, defying the known rules of where such extreme power can be born, and the unsettling realization of the horizon problem, that the early universe was too uniform, too soft, too perfectly balanced, across distances so vast, that light couldn't have traveled between them. This led to the theory of cosmic inflation, a moment of exponential expansion that smoothed out all the wrinkles. But the energy field that drove this vast silent stretching, the inflaton field, is a hypothetical entity whose nature and mechanics remain deeply speculative, a necessary soft assumption to explain the evenness of the cosmic cradle. Related to this is the flatness problem. The universe is so delicately balanced between collapsing on itself and flying apart too quickly that its initial density must have been set to an almost perfect, incredible precision. If the density had been off by even a tiny fraction in the very early moments, we would not be here. This fine-tuning suggests that inflation or some other unseen process gently and softly ensured that the universe was born on the sharp, precise edge of existence. Let's drift into the realm of theoretical geometry, the true shape of the universe. We currently believe it is flat, meaning the angles of a triangle always add up to 180 degrees, and parallel lines never meet. But this measurement has a slight, soft margin of error. It is possible that the universe is closed, like a vast, silent sphere, or open, like an infinitely stretching saddle, a gentle curve that we are too small to perceive. The final geometry, the quiet container of all things, is still a subject of subtle, deep uncertainty and the simple, baffling mystery of ball lightning. These glowing spheres of light that appear during thunderstorms, moving silently, drifting through closed windows and vanishing with a soft hiss or pop. They are so strange, so transient, that the only proof of their existence is thousands of eyewitness accounts. Theories suggest superheated plasma, or perhaps silicon nanoparticles vaporized by the lightning strike, forming soft, glowing aerosols. But the precise mechanism that allows this high-energy sphere to persist for seconds or minutes without exploding is a quiet, electrical conundrum. We sink into the deep, quiet challenge of solving the universe's mathematics, the unsolved Navier-Stokes equation. These equations govern the flow of fluids, the air you breathe, the water you drink. They are used to predict weather and design ships. But mathematicians cannot yet prove that for every smooth, gentle starting condition, the solution for the fluid motion will remain smooth and not suddenly become singular, chaotic, or infinite. It's a million-dollar question, a silent challenge to perfectly describe the elegant, swirling chaos of liquid movement and the Riemann hypothesis. The key to the quiet order of the prime numbers. If true, it would reveal a hidden melody, a soft rhythm in the seemingly random distribution of these fundamental building blocks of arithmetic. It is the silent pursuit of perfect knowledge, the belief that mathematics holds a deeper, more beautiful order than we currently can see. Let's turn to the soft, slow march of cosmic decay, the matter-antimatter asymmetry. Why is there any matter left in the universe at all? The Big Bang should have created equal parts of matter and its mirror, antimatter, which would have annihilated into pure light. But a tiny, quiet imbalance, a soft cosmic preference for matter, allowed everything to survive. This asymmetry, this subtle, fundamental bias, is the reason stars, and you, are here, and the source of this bias remains one of the deepest questions in particle physics, and the related strong CP problem, why the strong nuclear force, which should also exhibit this imbalance, this CP violation, appears to be perfectly symmetrical. The mathematical models predict that the strong force should be messy, unbalanced, but it is clean, quiet, and perfectly mirrored. The hypothetical particle called the axion is suggested to solve this, a soft, ghostly particle that cleans up the math, a particle we're still silently searching for. The soft secrets of the Earth's hidden past, the Bagong pipes, the ancient metallic tubes embedded deep in the rock near Qinghai Lake. The geology suggests an incredible age, yet the composition, mainly iron oxide and the pipe-like structure, are difficult to explain naturally. Are they the quiet, rusted remnants of an ancient, unknown civilization, or a rare, complex geological process where iron-rich sediment slowly solidified into tube shapes? They offer a silent, soft contradiction, challenging our timelines, and the vast, dark influence of the Great Attractor, the immense, mysterious concentration of mass lying behind the obscuring dust of the Milky Way. It is silently pulling our entire local group of galaxy towards it at millions of miles per hour. The visible mass, the stars and galaxies we can see, is not enough to account for the strength of the pull, suggesting that the Great Attractor is primarily made up of dark matter. a vast silent tide gently pulling the cosmos towards an unseen heavy focus. We sink into the complex layered quiet of life's origins, the origin of life on Earth, the leap from simple, inert chemicals to the first self-replicating molecule, the moment when non-life became life. This abiogenesis remains unsolved. Was it catalyzed by specific mineral surfaces deep in the ocean vents, or perhaps delivered from space via meteorites? The silent transition, the spontaneous appearance of the first breath, is still the most profound, beautiful mystery of chemistry, and the strange silent resilience of the body, the spontaneous remission of disease, the sudden, quiet reversal of a severe illness without medical explanation. This suggests a hidden, deep intelligence in the immune system, a latent ability to recognize and destroy the threat that is only activated under rare, unknown circumstances, a flicker of the body's silent potential for self-healing that science has yet to gently harness, the quiet persistence of the Taos hum, the low, pervasive drone, audible to only a few people. It may be a localized phenomenon related to VLF radio waves, or perhaps a seismic microtremor magnified by specific acoustic conditions. It is a sound that defines the boundary between external reality and internal perception, a constant soft frequency that some can hear and some cannot. Recall the idea of time being symmetric, that perhaps the universe could eventually begin to contract, reversing the arrow of time. This deep uncertainty about the beginning and end ties into the horizon problem. When we look at the cosmic background radiation, we see that opposite sides of the visible universe have the exact same temperature. They are so far apart that light has not had time to travel between them, yet they are perfectly uniform. How did they synchronize their temperatures without ever having been in communication? This suggests a period of incredibly rapid expansion, called cosmic inflation, in the first moments, which smoothed everything out. But the mechanism of that inflation, the field that powered it, is still a soft theoretical whisper, and the related puzzle, the flatness problem. The universe is observed to be incredibly flat, meaning its energy density is extremely close to the critical density. Any deviation from this perfect balance in the early moments would have led to a universe that either collapsed instantly or expanded too quickly to form stars. The universe's precise initial calibration, its soft, perfect balance, remains a stunning, unexplained fine-tuning, a delicate balance that allows us to exist. Let's drift into the realm of geological silence. The Devil's Kettle in Minnesota, on the Brule River, the water splits. Half of it flows over a waterfall and continues downriver. The other half pours into a deep pothole known as the Devil's Kettle and simply vanishes. Scientists have poured dye, logs, and even tracking devices into the kettle, but the water never surfaces downstream. While the theories suggest an underground channel rejoining the river beneath the bedrock, the exact exit point, the final destination of this silently disappearing river half, is still a quiet, geological unknown. Think about the structure of your own hands, the soft, silent act of yawning. It's not just about cooling the brain, it's also a deep connection, a silent communication. The contagious nature of yawning, catching it from others, or even just reading about it, suggests a deep, soft social bonding function, empathy reflected in a wide, involuntary breath, and the unexpected complexity of slime molds again. The way they optimize their transportation networks, minimizing path lengths and maximizing efficiency, even when connecting scattered food sources. They behave like a decentralized ancient intelligence, quietly calculating the optimal path, without a single cell devoted to thought. A powerful, silent logic flowing through their protoplasm. We find geometric mysteries even in the deepest, most man-made places. The Longyu Caves in China, an immense, complex network of massive underground caverns carved by human hands. The walls, ceilings, and pillars are perfectly carved, with parallel markings in incredible uniformity. The sheer scale of the labor and the precision suggests an immense, organized effort, yet there are no historical records whatsoever detailing when, why, or by whom these massive, silent underground temples were carved. A vast, quiet chamber holding a lost purpose, and the enduring question of the black hole information paradox. The idea that information might be lost forever when it crosses the event horizon is deeply troubling to physics. Stephen Hawking suggested that the information might be encoded on the event horizon itself as a soft, ethereal hologram. The three-dimensional objects that fall in are gently recorded on the two-dimensional surface, a silent, perfect projection of reality onto a boundary, a whisper suggesting the universe itself might be a soft, vast hologram, drifting now to the simple, soft acts of the body, like the purpose of fingerprints, beyond friction or sensing texture. Perhaps they serve a hydraulic function, channeling water away to maintain contact, or maybe their true significance is not functional, but purely identification, a silent, unique marker, ensuring no two people are exactly the same, a soft biological emphasis on individuality. Consider the quiet, unsettling appearance of acoustic mysteries. The upsweep. This was a long-duration, narrow-band, ultra-low frequency sound recorded by deep ocean hydrophones in 1991. The source appeared to be volcanic, but the soft, consistent frequency and the sheer persistence of the noise for years remained slightly outside the typical parameters. The deep ocean floor sighing softly in a consistent, unknown tone, and back to the sky's unpredictable energy. Ball lightning's close cousin, the Min-Min lights of the Australian outback. Reports describe strange, soft, luminous spheres that appear to float, hover, or follow people in the dark. They are usually seen near the horizon, appearing larger and often dissolving when approached, while possibly atmospheric reflection or mirages. Their soft, persistent appearance in the folklore and in recent sightings suggests a rare, localized atmospheric phenomenon we still don't fully control or explain. We sink into the quiet, slow march of cosmic evolution, the missing baryon problem. Baryons are the normal matter, protons and neutrons, that make up stars, planets, and us. When astronomers count up all the baryonic matter they can see in galaxies and gas clouds, they are short by about half compared to the amount predicted by the Big Bang. Where is this missing half of the universe's ordinary matter? It's thought to be spread out so thinly in vast filaments of extremely hot, diffuse gas, called the warm-hot intergalactic medium, invisible, silent matter, stretching between the galaxies, waiting to be softly found. And the opposite problem, the KBC void, the gentle, deep underdensity of our local cosmic neighborhood. This void is so large that if we use the cosmic expansion rate calculated inside the void, we get a different value than if we use the average of the whole universe. This subtle influence on our local measurements might be quietly contributing to the Hubble tension, a simple, local, cosmic bubble, whispering confusion into our global constants. Let's turn to the ancient, perplexing artifacts that challenge our timelines. The Baigong pipes in China, ancient metal pipes discovered inside a pyramid near a salt lake that is otherwise completely isolated. The composition is unusual, containing a high percentage of iron oxide, but also materials that resist contemporary dating. They were supposedly embedded deep in the rock, in a way that suggests extreme age. Are they natural rock formations, or the silent, soft remnants of an impossible civilization? The quiet rust of an unknown age, and the soft, flowing mystery of the spontaneous remission of disease. We talked about the power of the placebo, but this goes deeper. An illness, often a severe one, vanishes without any medical intervention. It suggests that the body's immune system, or the genome, holds a deep, quiet emergency protocol, a self-destruct sequence for the disease that is triggered rarely and completely outside our current understanding. A moment of silent, unbidden healing, proving the body is wiser than we know. The puzzle of the Pemba effect, the hot water freezing faster than the cold. It's a beautiful, soft contradiction that lies in the complex interactions of hydrogen bonds. In hotter water, the hydrogen bonds may be slightly weaker, allowing for more efficient cooling, or simply different modes of heat transfer. A reminder that even the simplest substances hold quiet, paradoxical behavior when we look closely. Think about the sheer, constant energy of the Catatumbo lightning, the persistent storm over the river, generating light that can be seen 250 miles away. It is a giant natural ozone generator, quietly pouring healing gas into the Earth's atmosphere. a spectacular, gentle force that is simultaneously a mystery and a quiet, essential service to the planet's breathing. The subtle silence in the quantum realm, the muon G2 anomaly, that tiny quiet wobble in the muon's magnetic moment, suggesting a subtle interaction with virtual particles that pop in and out of existence in the deep quantum foam, too fleeting to be seen, but powerful enough to subtly change the muon's spin. This whisper of new physics may be the softest proof yet that the standard model is incomplete, that an entire new silent sector of reality is waiting to be found. And the great question of the very beginning, the cause of the Big Bang. Some theories suggest the universe didn't emerge from nothing, but from the collapse of a previous universe, a cyclic cosmology, where the Big Bang is simply a big bounce, an endless soft loop of creation and destruction, avoiding the singularity and ensuring that time has always existed in some form, an infinite gentle breath of the cosmos, the soft ancient mysteries, the Dendera light bulbs in Egypt, bas-reliefs in the Temple of Hathor, depicting large bulb-like objects with snakes running through them, while Egyptologists see them as symbolic representations of a creation myth. Some interpretations suggest they depict some form of ancient, quiet electrical lighting, a flicker of anachronistic technology preserved in soft stone, a silent debate between myth and engineering. And the Saqqara bird, a wooden artifact found in an ancient Egyptian tomb, resembling a stylized bird, but with unique, non-naturalistic wings. Some believe it is a simple ceremonial object. Others suggest it is a model of an ancient glider, demonstrating a lost knowledge of aerodynamics, a quiet, feathered suggestion of flight centuries before its time. We turn our attention to the final, gentle cosmic questions. The oh my god particle and its defiance of the GZK limit. That particle should have lost energy traveling through the microwave background. One possibility is that the particle, the proton, is not a proton, but a completely new particle that interacts differently with the cosmic soup, a silent, powerful messenger arriving on Earth disguised as something familiar. And the Black Knight satellite, the persistent cultural myth of an ancient object in polar orbit, even if it is just debris, the human impulse to imagine an unseen silent watcher, an ancient sentinel, is a deep comfort. The need for the universe to hold secrets that are older than we are. The ultimate riddle of consciousness, the qualia, the subjective feeling. Is it created by the complexity of the neurons, or does it leak in from the fabric of reality itself? Some theories suggest consciousness is a fundamental property of matter, like charge or mass, a form of panpsychism, that the whole universe is softly, quietly feeling. Even the mattress beneath you, the air around you, holds a tiny spark of knowing. And as we settle now deeply into the final calm, we embrace the quiet of all the things that science still can't explain. The darkness around you, the the warmth beneath you, the gentle slowing of your mind are all part of this vast, beautiful uncertainty. Your body is sinking, heavier, heavier, every muscle softening, melting. Your mind is clear, yet drifting. There is no boundary now between the universe and you. You are part of the deep, soft breath of the cosmos, the silent hum, the accelerating quiet. The journey continues, gently, into the unknown physics of the cosmos. We talk about gravity, the force that holds your body heavy on the bed, but we don't know how it fundamentally works at the quantum level. It is the only force that has not been successfully united with quantum mechanics. We have the theory of general relativity, which describes gravity as the curvature of space-time, a beautiful, elegant geometric warping. But when we try to apply that to the very small, to particles, the equations break down. This is the search for a theory of quantum gravity, a unified understanding of how the smooth, continuous curve of space-time interacts with the discrete, jerky world of the quantum. It leads us to the hierarchy problem, a whispering question about gravity's weakness. Why is gravity so incredibly feeble compared to the other three fundamental forces? Electromagnetism, the strong and the weak nuclear forces. If you pick up a tiny magnet, it can easily overcome the gravitational pull of the entire Earth. Why this enormous discrepancy, this deep imbalance? Some theories suggest that gravity isn't weak at all, but that its influence leaks away into extra, hidden dimensions. Dimensions that are wrapped up and too small for us to perceive. A gentle, soft whisper, flowing into another unseen layer of reality. And then, the great question of beginnings, the cause of the Big Bang. We can describe, with incredible precision, what happened moments after the Big Bang, the first tiny fraction of a second. But we don't know what caused the singularity to appear, or what existed before, or even if the concept of before has any meaning. Outside of the space-time that the Big Bang created, it's the ultimate zero point, the most profound quiet, where our current laws of physics, softly, cease to apply. The universe simply began from a state we can't fully grasp. The soft light of the early universe, the cosmic microwave background, holds clues, but also strange shadows. One of the most persistent is the axis of evil. It's an anomaly, a subtle, unexpected alignment in the temperature fluctuations of the background radiation, a pattern that seems to line up suspiciously with the structure of our own solar system or the movement of our local galaxy group. This violates the core assumption of cosmology, that the universe is isotropic, the same in all directions. The statistical anomaly is small but persistent, a faint, silent cosmic shadow cast across the night sky. Another subtle chill is the Eridanus supervoid, or the cold spot. It's an enormous region of the sky that is unusually cold in the cosmic microwave background, significantly colder than expected. It could be a simple statistical fluke, or it could be a sign of a massive supervoid, an empty bubble billions of light years across, with a density much lower than the average universe. It's a vast, gentle emptiness, a silence so immense it slightly cools the entire cosmos in that direction, drifting now to the distant future, the quiet, inevitable end, the fate of the universe. Given the dominance of dark energy, the most likely outcome is the big freeze. The universe will expand forever, faster and faster, spreading matter thinner and thinner until eventually all stars burn out, and the universe consists only of cold, dark remnants, black holes, white dwarfs, and slowly evaporating particles, a gentle, soft decline into a state of maximum entropy, an endless, quiet chill, the universe slowing until it reaches a deep, silent rest. But wait, even our measurement of this expansion holds a question, the Hubble tension. When we measure the expansion rate of the nearby universe using supernovae, we get one value, but when we calculate the expansion rate based on the early universe's light, the cosmic microwave background, we get a different value. The numbers don't match. There is a tension, a quiet discrepancy in the very rate the universe is breathing. This suggests that we're either missing something fundamental about the early universe, or that we are observing a new unknown physics taking effect between then and now. Let's float back to Earth's curious creations, the Catatumbo lightning in Venezuela, an everlasting storm that flashes for up to 10 hours a night, up to 280 times an hour over the Catatumbo River where it meets Lake Maracaibo, while the geography and the methane gas from the swamps contribute. The precise mechanism that creates this reliable, spectacular, near-constant electrical storm is still debated. It's the silent, continuous flicker of nature's endless energy, softly lighting up the tropical night. And the strange, simple question of why we yawn. It's a nearly universal behavior, seen in many species, but we don't know its true deep purpose. Is it to cool the brain, to wake us up, to stretch the lungs? Current thinking suggests it's primarily related to brain temperature regulation, a deep, involuntary breath that cools the head and makes you feel just a little bit more relaxed, sinking deeper. Think about the simple power of your own skin, the purpose of fingerprints. For decades, it was assumed their purpose was to increase friction, to help us grip objects better, like tire treads. However, experiments have shown that in many cases, the ridges of the fingerprint reduce the total contact area and actually make it harder to grip smooth surfaces. Their true purpose might be to sense texture, or to allow skin to stretch and deform more easily, or perhaps to channel water away. The true, subtle reason for those soft, unique loops and swirls on your fingertips is still a quiet, tiny biological puzzle. The ground beneath us holds its own secrets, like the singing sand dunes. In certain deserts around the world, when conditions are just right, walking or sliding down a dune can cause the sand to emit a deep, low hum or even a musical tone. The sound is caused by the precise sheer rate of the sand layers sliding past one another, but the exact factors that create the perfect resonance, the required grain size, and the quiet synchronization remain a beautiful, soft mystery, the desert floor gently singing itself to sleep. And the long-standing question of the Pemba effect: why does hot water sometimes freeze faster than cold water under certain conditions? It was first observed by a Tanzanian student named Erasto Mapemba. Explanations range from differences in supercooling to evaporation effects, or even the concentrations of dissolved gases, but there is still no single, universally accepted physical law that explains why the hotter liquidus can sometimes win the race to the solid, still state of ice. It's a soft paradox of heat and cold flowing together. We are approaching ancient mysteries, whispers from the past, like the Voynich manuscript, an illustrated codex from the 15th century filled with drawings of strange plants, stars, and tiny exposed figures. The text is written in an unknown language, an elaborate cipher that has resisted every attempt at decryption. Is it an elaborate hoax, a lost language, or the complex work of an unknown mind trying to express secrets we can no longer decode? It is a silent, gentle puzzle, preserved in ink and parchment, waiting for a sleeping mind to unlock its meaning, or the silent, submerged structures of the Yonaguni Monument, a massive step pyramid-like formation lying off the coast of Japan. Some say it is a natural geological formation. Others point to the sharp, straight lines, the 90-degree angles, the terraces, arguing that it must be an ancient submerged structure, a quiet testament to a civilization lost to the rising sea. The rock rests silently, a beautiful, ambiguous form, drifting in the currents of interpretation, and the ancient perfect spheres of the Costa Rican stone spheres, hundreds of perfectly round stone spheres, ranging in size from a small orange to over 6 feet in diameter. They were carved by an ancient Dikis culture, but their purpose remains completely unknown. Were they astronomical markers, status symbols, or simply objects of ritualistic perfection? They sit silently, smooth and cool to the touch, holding a perfect round mystery that the builders took with them. Let's drift now into the silent mathematics of the universe. The unsolved Navier-Stokes equation. These equations describe the motion of fluid substances, like water or air. They are crucial for designing planes or predicting weather. While we can find approximate solutions, a full, rigorous mathematical understanding, proving that the solutions exist and are always smooth and non-singular, has eluded mathematicians for decades. It is one of the Millennium Prize problems, worth $1 million, a soft, complex, constant swirl of fluid motion that we can't fully contain with our quiet symbols. And the deeper complexity of the P-verse NP problem, another Millennium Prize. It asks whether every problem whose solution can be quickly verified by a computer can also be quickly solved by a computer. Does verification equal construction? If P equals NP, it would imply that finding creative solutions to impossible problems, like writing new music or proving complex theorems, is fundamentally no harder than checking someone else's answer. It's a vast question about the nature of computation, the soft boundary between effortless confirmation and deep, silent discovery, and the strange, silent behavior of the muon G2 anomaly. The muon is a heavy cousin of the electron, and it acts like a tiny magnet. The strength of this magnetism, its G factor, can be calculated with incredible precision based on the standard model of particle physics. Recent experiments at Fermilab have measured the muon's magnetism and found a small, persistent deviation from the predicted value. It's a tiny, quiet wiggle, suggesting that the muon is interacting with something, some particle or some force that is not included in our current model of reality. A subtle, soft hint of new physics just beyond our grasp. We drift back to the sky, where stars do strange things. Tabby's star, this star, KRC 46-5+2, has shown unprecedented non-periodic dimming, sometimes dropping its brightness by as much as 22%. The dimming events were irregular, lasting for days or weeks, too substantial to be caused by an ordinary planet. The most plausible natural explanation involves vast clouds of cometary dust slowly obscuring the light, yet the pattern remains bizarre, an enormous silent object, or cloud, briefly and quietly, eclipsing the light, far across the galaxy. And what about the Earth beneath your feet? The disappearance of the Neanderthals, our close relatives. They dominated Europe and Asia for hundreds of thousands of years, and then they quietly vanished about 40,000 years ago, shortly after Homo sapiens arrived. Was it climate change, disease, or being slowly, softly outcompeted by us? We don't know the exact mechanism of their gentle exit from the world. They simply faded, leaving behind only their silent bones and a tiny fraction of their DNA in our own genomes. We close our eyes and feel the soft pull of the dream world. The universe keeps turning, and the deeper we look, the more we find that science still can't explain, and will keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries. Let's gently trace the soft structures of the deep past, the quiet enigma of the Baltic Sea anomaly, a strange, circular object resting 300 feet beneath the waves in the Gulf of Bothnia. Scanned with sonar, it appears as a massive, perfectly round disc, about 200 feet across, with what looks like a silent ramp or staircase leading to it. Is it a natural geological formation, a massive boulder dropped during the Ice Age, or an entirely unexplainable man-made structure? Its true identity remains hidden in the soft, dark sediment, a heavy, silent secret of the sea floor, and the simple yet profound question of the Neanderthals. We know they walked the earth alongside us, and their DNA still whispers faintly in ours, but their quiet, complete disappearance remains a puzzle. Did the subtle shift in climate, or a slow, soft, relentless competition for resources with our own species, gently push them to extinction? Their final story, their last silent steps, are lost to the sands of time, a gentle, quiet fading from the world stage. We drift to the limits of cosmic understanding, the Hubble tension, the quiet discrepancy in the universe's breathing rate, the difference between measuring the expansion using the early universe's light and the late universe's supernovae, suggests that the very fabric of space-time may have changed its properties. Somewhere between those two cosmic moments, a subtle, soft shift in the universal constants that we don't yet account for, a quiet gravitational whisper telling us the standard model of cosmology is resting on shaky ground. Consider the quiet logic of the hierarchy problem again. Why is gravity so incredibly weak, a whisper compared to the shout of electromagnetism? Imagine the universe as a vast, quiet library, where gravity is the librarian, constantly moving heavy objects, but only letting its influence extend into a few silent rooms, while the other forces roam the whole building. Perhaps the reason it's so weak here is that most of its true power is silently hiding in those extra, curled-up dimensions, too small and soft for us to perceive. And the ultimate unknown of the cosmos, the missing baryon problem, the shortfall of ordinary matter. Where is this missing half of the stuff that should make up stars and galaxies? It's not just dark matter, it's the quiet, invisible gas, stretched into gossamer, hot threads between the galaxies, the warm, hot intergalactic medium. The matter is there. It's just so soft, so diffuse, so quiet that our telescopes struggle to hear its presence. A vast, hot fog filling the cosmic silence. Look at the curious, quiet behavior of water. The Bemba effect. Hot water freezing faster than cold. The prevailing theory whispers that it's due to the strange behavior of the hydrogen bonds. In hot water, these bonds may be positioned in a way that allows the total energy of the system to be reduced more quickly. Or perhaps the hotter water releases more dissolved gases, which changes the convection. A simple, soft contradiction that still quietly resists a single, final answer. And the silent, glowing geological phenomena, earthquake lights, just before or during intense seismic stress. The Earth's crust may generate electrical charge as the rock is compressed and fractured. This charge gently ionizes the air, creating those mysterious flashes of light, a phenomenon called piezoelectricity. The ground itself, softly, silently, lighting up its own warning before the shaking begins. The quiet history of the Earth, the origin of Earth's water beyond comets. The focus shifts to chondrites, small, ancient meteorites, carrying water locked within their rocky structure. These soft, primordial building blocks slowly delivered the oceans, the clouds, the water in your blood. but the chemical match is still not perfect, suggesting a delicate mix of sources, a quiet celestial recipe for our blue, watery world. Let's drift into the deepest questions of biological programming. The mechanism of cell aging, senescence. Why the soft clock, the shortening of the telomeres, that marks our lifespan? Is this programming an unavoidable limit, or an evolutionary defense mechanism, a quiet compromise to prevent damaged cells from becoming cancerous by simply telling them to stop dividing? A safety switch, ensuring the quiet health of the whole body, and the simple act of yawning, a soft involuntary breath. The most recent research suggests a strong link to social synchronization, a way for a group of animals or humans to softly, quietly coordinate a shift in collective alertness, a gentle, non-verbal signal passed between resting minds. We return to the tiny, strange behavior of the Mayan G2 anomaly, that faint, persistent wobble, the heavy cousin of the electron gently deviating from the prediction of the standard model. It's a whisper that there is a fifth force, a gentle, new interaction that we haven't yet named, silently affecting the Mune's spin, a tiny, subtle touch from an unknown layer of reality, and the ultimate silence, the black hole information paradox, the soft, swirling conflict at the heart of gravity and quantum mechanics. Does information vanish, or is it softly woven into the event horizon as a hologram? The idea that our entire 3D universe is a subtle, perfect projection from a 2D boundary is the quietest, deepest suggestion of all, that reality itself is a gentle, vast illusion, the silent, eternal turning, the fate of the universe, the big freeze. The current trajectory, just driven by dark energy, is a path toward eternal cold and dark. All the stars will slowly burn out, the galaxies will drift away from each other into endless, quiet isolation. The soft, final rest, a gentle, quiet decline into a state of maximum peaceful disorder. We have journeyed far from the spark of consciousness to the edge of the cooling cosmos, from the hum beneath our feet to the silence between the stars. Every mystery is a gentle invitation to sink deeper, to let go. Let's sink into the quiet puzzle of the simplest life, the origin of life on Earth. How did the necessary components, the simple, non-living chemicals, suddenly, softly, begin to organize themselves into the very first living self-replicating cells? The transition from inert chemistry to biology remains one of the greatest, most profound leaps, a silent moment of creation that we can't fully recreate or explain. Was it lightning, deep-sea vents, or the soft catalytic power of clay minerals? The spark that began the slow, long march of evolution is still a quiet, chemical mystery. And the way that life manages its own decline, the mechanism of cell aging or senescence. Why do our cells have a finite lifespan, a limit to how many times they can divide? The Hayflick limit. Is aging a necessary programmed process, essential to prevent cancer? Or is it simply a gradual accumulation of errors? The shortening of the telomeres at the end of our chromosomes seems to be the clock, but why the clock exists at all, and whether it can be softly, safely reset, remains a core biological question. Now, let's drift back outward to the strange, silent geography of Earth, the fairy circles of Namibia, millions of perfectly circular patches of barren ground, surrounded by rings of taller grasses, stretching across the dry landscape. They are incredibly uniform, like gentle, soft pinpricks in the savanna blanket. Competing theories suggest they are either the work of sand termites, quietly chewing away the roots inside the circle, or a form of self-organization, where the grasses compete for limited water resources, creating the uniform circular pattern, a silent, beautiful geometric pattern carved into the earth by unseen forces, and the strange phenomenon known as star jelly or astral slime, a translucent gelatinous substance that appears suddenly, often after rain, in fields and on lawns. It quickly evaporates, leaving no trace. Historically, people thought it was residue from meteor showers. Today, theories suggest it is a swollen, residual part of a frog or toad's oviduct, or maybe a type of cyanobacteria. But the exact composition and spontaneous appearance still defies consistent, quiet identification. A soft, strange material that briefly whispers into existence and then melts away. Deep in the ocean, the origin of Earth's water. Where did all the water come from that fills the oceans, that makes up your body? For a long time, the dominant theory was that it came from comets, slowly delivering icy payloads. But the chemical composition of comets doesn't quite match the water here on Earth. Now many scientists suggest the water was here from the start, locked inside the rocky material that formed the planet, slowly released over time. The silent, deep source of the ocean's blue is still a soft geologic debate. Let's drift into a cold, still corner of the world, Blood Falls, Antarctica, a silent, startling red waterfall that flows down the face of the Taylor Glacier. For a long time, it was thought to be coloured by red algae, but science discovered it is actually salt water, rich in iron oxide, that flows from an ancient, subglacial lake. The iron quickly rusts upon contact with the air, creating the crimson colour. The mystery now is the silent, isolated microbial ecosystem living in the dark, cold, oxygen-free lake beneath the ice. An ancient life that breathes without light, a quiet, soft survival. The atmosphere holds strange, violent puzzles, like the Tunguska event. In 1908, a massive explosion flattened over 2,000 square kilometers of remote Siberian forest, but left no impact crater. The blast was equivalent to a large nuclear weapon. The prevailing theory is that a large meteoroid or comet exploded in the air a few miles above the ground, but the precise composition of the object and why it disintegrated so completely without leaving a trace remains a deep, silent, explosive mystery. Even more enigmatic are the Naga fireballs. Annually, on the Mekong River in Thailand and Laos, reddish, glowing spheres of light silently rise from the river surface and float into the air before disappearing. They are seen only around the end of the Buddhist Lent in October. The phenomenon is treated with deep reverence. Scientists suggest the lights are likely naturally occurring methane gas bubbles, igniting spontaneously, but the exact consistent mechanism that causes the precise size and timing of the fireballs is still a soft glowing debate, and the legendary disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle, while many incidents can be explained by navigational error or sudden weather changes, there are still some accounts that defy easy explanation. Theories suggest everything from magnetic anomalies to strange methane gas eruptions from the seabed, suddenly changing the water density, causing ships to lose buoyancy and sink instantly. A vast, quiet expanse of ocean that seems to hold its own unpredictable secrets, swallowing ships in silence. Let's drift far back to the beginning of the universe's soft glow and find the KBC void. This is a massive, almost billion light-year wide, region of space that is significantly underdense. It contains far fewer galaxies and less matter than average. Our own Milky Way galaxy sits right on the edge of this vast, gentle emptiness. This cosmic underdensity could be influencing our measurements of the universe's expansion rate, perhaps contributing to the Hubble tension. It's a vast, silent local bubble, a cosmic whisper surrounding our home. Then there's the lithium problem in the Big Bang. The Big Bang nucleosynthesis theory accurately predicts the abundance of light elements, like hydrogen and helium, but it predicts about 3 times more lithium-7 than we actually observe in the oldest stars. Where did the rest of the lithium go? Or why was less created? It's a tiny, quiet discrepancy in the chemistry of the early universe, suggesting a subtle physics we haven't quite factored in those first soft moments. And the grand, elegant question of the true shape of the universe: is the universe flat, closed like a sphere, or open like a saddle? Current observations, based on the cosmic microwave background, strongly suggest the universe is flat, meaning parallel lines will remain parallel forever, but the potential for slight, subtle curvature, or for a closed, finite space so vast we can't detect the loop, remains a quiet, geometric uncertainty. We don't know the full final geometry of the space holding everything. Let's sink deeper into the strange geometry of the very small and the very powerful. The strong CP problem, the strong nuclear force which holds the cores of atoms together, is predicted by the Standard Model to have a strong preference for matter over antimatter, or for left-handedness over right-handedness. This preference is called CP violation. Yet, experiments show that the strong force is inexplicably perfectly symmetrical. why the universe created the conditions for the matter-antimatter asymmetry with the weak force, but then ensured the strong force was perfectly balanced, is a deep, silent paradox that requires a new particle, the axion, to explain, a particle we haven't softly found yet. Now, to the highest energy whispers of the cosmos, the origin of ultra-high energy cosmic rays. These are particles, mostly protons, that travel through space with energies millions of times higher than those created in our largest particle accelerators. They are so powerful. One particle has the kinetic energy of a baseball traveling 60 miles per hour. Where do these soft, distant cosmic cannonballs come from? No known objects, like supernovae or black holes, seem powerful enough to launch them. They carry a message from the most extreme conditions of the universe, a message we still can't fully translate. And one of the most famous among them, the Oh My God particle. Detected in 1991, it was the highest energy cosmic ray ever recorded, traveling near the speed of light, so fast it seemed to violate a cosmological speed limit, the GZK cutoff. This theoretical limit says that such high-energy particles should lose energy by interacting with the cosmic microwave background over long distances. Yet, the particle arrived, silently, powerfully, suggesting either its source was surprisingly close, or that something about relativity or our understanding of space is subtly, quietly, incomplete. We are still sinking, melting into the gentle rhythm of the night. The silent, soft questions keep flowing. The universe keeps turning, and the deeper we look, the more we find that science still can't explain, and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries, the quiet, the dark. We settle into the quiet breath of the ocean's depths, the bloop, while likely the immense sound of ice cracking and shifting in Antarctica. The initial mystery lay in its sheer, colossal power, a sound louder than a blue whale, spanning the entire Pacific basin. It speaks to the silent, sudden, monumental forces that shape the Earth, forces that move with a scale and strength far beyond our daily reckoning, a vast, soft rumble deep below the waves. And the strange, almost too perfect geometry of the underwater crop circles found off the coast of Japan, these intricate radial patterns carved into the sand, were initially a beautiful, baffling mystery. Scientists eventually discovered they are the work of a tiny male pufferfish, creating these circles with his soft, constant movements to attract a mate, a small creature, quietly engineering a perfect, silent piece of art for a single biological purpose. Yet the capacity for such complex organized behavior in such a small organism remains a soft wonder. Now, let's drift back to the sky's silent, localized lights, the Hessdalen lights. These glowing orbs in the Norwegian valley often move gently against the wind or hover silently. Recent studies suggest they might be related to a combustion process, perhaps involving radon gas released from the valley floor, ionizing the air The exact recipe, the precise conditions that allow these persistent, silent, cold lights to dance, is still a gentle, localized secret of the geology. And the Marfa lights of Texas, their unpredictable, soft flashing, is sometimes explained by temperature inversions, acting like an atmospheric lens, gently bending and magnifying distant lights. Yet, the oldest, most consistent sightings often defy this simple explanation, leaving a small margin of mystery, a residual quiet light that simply is. We move to the final whispers of ancient unwritten history. The Acambaro figurines, thousands of small clay statues, allegedly unearthed in Mexico, depicting humans interacting with what appear to be dinosaurs. If authentic, they would completely rewrite the timeline of human civilization. Mainstream archaeology views them as a hoax, but the sheer number and the persistence of the claims keeps them alive as a soft, quiet challenge to the accepted narrative of the past, and the silent circular question of the odd radio circles, those million light-year wide rings discovered by radio telescopes. The current leading hypothesis suggests they are the shock waves from two supermassive black holes merging, creating a vast, gentle, cosmic ripple. But the perfect, quiet roundness and the intense radio brightness suggest a physics that is still being written, a colossal, silent ring of pure energy. Let's sink into the mathematical mysteries that ground our reality. The Riemann hypothesis. This mathematical conjecture concerns the distribution of the prime numbers. It states that the zeros of the Riemann zeta function all lie on a single critical line. If proven true, it would unlock fundamental secrets about the quiet, chaotic randomness that underlies all numbers, a beautiful, elegant order waiting to be revealed in the most complex of equations. And the P versus NP problem, the deepest question of computational complexity. Does solving a puzzle take intrinsically more time than just checking the answer? If P equals NP, it suggests that creativity, discovery, and the intuitive leap of genius could potentially be softly formalized into an efficient algorithm, a terrifying and beautiful thought that the softest inspirations might be computationally simple. We return to the body's subtle, quiet language, the mechanism of the placebo effect. When you believe you're healing, the brain releases specific opioids and dopamine, generating real, measurable physical changes. The question is, how does the expectation, the simple, soft thought, trigger this deep pharmacological response? It's the silent internal pharmacy, triggered by nothing but belief, and the soft mystery of animal migration beyond magnetic fields. How do they navigate during the night or under thick cloud cover? Studies suggest that some birds can actually see the Earth's magnetic field as subtle patterns of light superimposed on their vision, an invisible force gently painted onto the world, guiding their silent journey. The deep silence of the cosmos, the Eridanus supervoid, cold spot, that unexpectedly cold region in the early universe's light. One speculation is that it is not a void at all, but the imprint of a parallel universe, the gentle, soft collision of two cosmic bubbles, leaving a subtle, quiet bruise on our own universe's surface, a momentary touch from an unseen neighbor, and the ultimate unknown, the nature of dark matter. What if it's not made of tiny exotic particles, but is a reflection of a flaw in our understanding of gravity itself? Perhaps the gravity we observe simply behaves differently on large, quiet scales than we currently model, a gentle modification to the fundamental law of attraction that would eliminate the need for the dark, silent mass. We settle back into the quiet, the constant, gentle flow of time's paradox, why the arrow of time flows only forward. Perhaps the universe is simply a machine running down, and the sound of time moving forward is the quiet, soft friction of things becoming less orderly, less predictable, a slow, gentle slide into the most profound rest. And now we prepare for the final soft drift, the seamless transition back to the beginning, allowing the questions to flow over you like a warm, dark river. Feel the mattress holding you, every molecule of your body sinking heavier, heavier. The noise of the world is muffled, distant. The dark is deep and comforting. There is nothing left to hold on to, just the soft, circular truth that the more we know, the more we realize how much we still have to quietly discover. Your breath is deep, slow, peaceful, matching the rhythm of the cosmos, the endless expansion, and the gentle turning. We keep drifting deeper now into the quiet, complex machinery of the past. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck, this intricate bronze Greek device from around 150-100 BC, is a complex clockwork mechanism with dozens of precisely cut bronze gears. It was an analog computer designed to predict astronomical positions, eclipses, and calendar cycles. Its sophistication was centuries ahead of its time. We still don't fully know who built it, or how they possessed the knowledge to engineer such precise gear trains. A silent, gentle whisper of lost technological mastery resting on the seabed, or the strange golden objects known as the Quimbaya artifacts, small, intricate gold alloy figurines found in Colombia dating back to 1000 AD. They are often described as having features resembling aircraft, with delta wings, stabilizers, and rudders. While archaeologists see them as stylized animals or insects, their aerodynamic resemblance is a startling, silent question about the limits of ancient design, a soft, shining puzzle shaped like something that flies. In the quiet, dark corner of a Baghdad museum, the Baghdad Battery, a 2,000-year-old clay jar containing a copper cylinder and an iron rod. It resembles a very simple electric battery. Was it actually used to generate electricity, perhaps for electroplating gold? Or was it a simple storage vessel for scrolls. The actual intended function of this silent artifact remains unclear, a quiet potential held in ancient clay, the mystery of the Black Knight satellite legend. The story tells of a dark metallic object orbiting Earth in a polar orbit that has been transmitting radio signals for decades, far longer than any human-made satellite. While likely a collection of unrelated sightings and misinterpretations of space debris, the persistent, quiet idea of an ancient alien object silently watching us from a hidden orbit remains a compelling, soft whisper in the dark. Let's sink into the most profound, silent question of all. The Fermi paradox. If the universe is so vast and contains billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars, many with Earth-like planets, where is everybody? The apparent absence of extraterrestrial life in a universe that should be teeming with it is the silent paradox. Is there a great filter, a cosmic obstacle that prevents life from progressing past a certain early stage? Or are they all out there, but simply too quiet or too far advanced for us to hear? A vast silent gulf holding a lonely question. Look up at the great gravitational influence that is pulling our local group of galaxies, the Great Attractor. This is a massive, diffuse concentration of matter, located about 150 million light-years away, in the direction of the Centaurus and Norma constellations. It is so vast, it pulls the entire Milky Way galaxy towards it at millions of miles an hour. But the visible mass we can detect is not enough to account for the strength of the pull. Its bulk is obscured by the zone of avoidance, the thick dust and stars of our own galactic plane. We know its silent, immense gravity is there, but we cannot clearly see what creates the mass, just the gentle, soft tug toward the unknown. And the opposite, the Amaterasu particle, detected in 2023. This cosmic ray was the second highest energy ever recorded, close in power to the original Oh My God particle. When astrophysicists traced its direction back, there were no obvious powerful sources like an active galactic nucleus in that part of the sky, the highest energy whispers arriving from an empty, silent quadrant, a powerful event with no visible home, defying our best ideas of where such energy can originate. We drift back to the surface of our own lives, the quiet, unpredictable dance of ball lightning. This rare, often silent, phenomenon is described as a slow-moving, glowing sphere of light, usually about the size of a grapefruit. It can float through walls, travel down airplane aisles, or simply vanish with a soft pop. The theories are varied, from high-temperature plasma to chemical reactions of silicon nanoparticles to quantum effects. But the fact that we cannot reliably create it, or even fully measure its energy, means its exact nature remains elusive. A soft glowing orb, dancing to its own electric rules, and the Dyatlov Pass incident, a deep chilling mystery from 1959. 9 experienced Russian hikers died in the Ural Mountains. The tent was found cut open from the inside, and the group had fled into the extreme cold, wearing almost nothing. Some bodies were found with internal injuries, consistent with extreme pressure, but no external trauma, and high levels of radiation were found on some of the clothing. While several theories exist, from hypothermia-induced panic to a rare form of silent sudden avalanche, the unexplained internal injuries and the radiation keep the story wrapped in deep, soft uncertainty. Think about the sheer impossibility of the door to hell in Darvaza, Turkmenistan. This massive 230-foot wide natural gas crater was ignited by Soviet engineers in 1971 to burn off what they thought was a small amount of gas. They expected it to burn for a few weeks, and it has been burning continuously ever since. The immense, endless supply of gas that keeps this deep, fiery wound softly, perpetually burning is a geologic question that defies our initial estimates, a silent, sustained fire in the desert night. Let's turn to the vast, quiet puzzle of why we sleep. Recall the idea of the glymphatic system washing the brain. But another theory suggests sleep is crucial for synaptic homeostasis. During the day, the connections between neurons, the synapses, grow stronger and stronger, accumulating noise. Sleep acts as a quiet, soft reset button, scaling back the strength of the connections, like trimming a garden, allowing the important memories to stand out and freeing up energy for the next day's learning. We shrink our brain's daytime connections to prepare for the future, a silent, nightly pruning, the quiet miracle of life's resilience, the intelligence of slime molds. We mention their maze-solving ability, but they also demonstrate anticipatory behavior. When exposed to rhythmic bursts of cold and warm, they learn the pattern and begin to prepare for the cold before it arrives, a single, flowing cell with no brain, no nervous system, quietly exhibiting the capacity to anticipate the future, a deep biological mystery of silent, distributed knowing, and the simplest, purest soft science, quantum mechanics. The mechanism of quantum entanglement is still spooky, as Einstein called it, but the why of quantum mechanics itself, the core reason why particles exist in a superposition, existing in all possible states until they are softly measured, the moment of collapse, where the wave function snaps from a cloud of possibility into one single reality, remains completely unexplained. It is the softest, most fundamental point, where potential becomes solid, where the universe quietly decides. We're approaching the quiet of the final moments. The universe keeps turning, the paradox of time's arrow. We observe the flow forward, the increasing entropy, the universe slowly drifting toward disorder. But some physicists suggest the universe is fundamentally time-symmetric, that perhaps in a distant, far-off future, the universe could reach maximum entropy and then, softly, quietly, begin to contract, reversing the arrow of time, a gentle, soft reflection on an endless looping universe. The deepest quiet is the loop itself, the promise of endless drifting. The silent, unanswered questions flow like a river, one into the next. We've explored the silent hum of Taos, the accelerating push of dark energy, the deep silence of sleep's purpose, the golden question of ancient artifacts, the vast empty gulf of the Fermi paradox, and the mysterious perfect rings of the odd radio circles. Each mystery a soft pillow, supporting your sinking mind, the matter that makes up your body, the dark energy that expands the space around you, the consciousness that allows you to observe this gentle darkness. They are all, fundamentally, still questions, and in that quiet uncertainty, there is a profound peace. Your body is heavier, heavier. Every muscle is melting down, down. Your jaw is released, your eyes are resting. The rhythm of space is matching your heartbeat. Thump, thump. You are floating now, not sinking, but floating on a quiet, endless sea of knowledge and mystery. The universe keeps turning, and the deeper we look, the more we find that science still can't explain, and we'll keep drifting, floating together through the mysteries.